The complete Red Dead Redemption timeline, 1899 to 1914, 1899, the beginning of the end, Red Dead Redemption 2. The story kicks off in 1899. The Wild West is dying. The Pinkertons are everywhere. Civilization is spreading fast. The Van der Linde gang, led by Dutch Van der Linde, just botched a ferry robbery in Blackwater. Something went wrong. Money was lost, people died, and Dutch shot an innocent woman during the escape. The gang flees into the snowy mountains near Coulter, barely surviving. Here we play as Arthur Morgan, Dutch's most loyal enforcer. Early tensions start showing. Dutch talks about freedom and loyalty. But his decisions are getting reckless, and a new member, Micah Bell, begins whispering in Dutch's ear. Chapter 2 to 4, 1899. Cracks in the gang. The gang settles near Valentine, then later near Rhodes. They get caught between two feuding families, the Greys and the Braithwaites. This leads to one of the most tragic turning points. The Braithwaites kidnap young Jack Marston. Jack is eventually rescued from St. Denis, a rapidly industrializing city symbolizing the death of the Old West. Here's where things spiral. Dutch becomes obsessed with one last big score. The St. Denis bank robbery goes horribly wrong. Hosea Matthews is killed. Lenny Summers is killed. John Marston is arrested. The gang completely falls apart. Guarma, 1899. After the failed robbery, Dutch, Arthur, Micah, Javier, and Bill are shipwrecked on the island of Guarma. Dutch starts showing his true colors. He murders an old woman in cold blood. He leaves people behind without hesitation. His loyalty becomes conditional. Arthur begins to question everything. Arthur's turning point, late 1899. Arthur is diagnosed with tuberculosis. This changes him completely. He realizes Dutch is losing it. Micah is manipulating him. The gang is doomed. Arthur begins trying to save John Marston, Abigail, Jack. He sees John as the gang's last chance at a real life. The fall of the Van der Linde gang, 1899. The Pinkertons close in. Arthur confronts Micah and discovers Micah is the rat. Dutch is told this, and still walks away from Arthur. Arthur helps John escape, depending on the player's honor. Arthur dies watching the sunrise peacefully, or he dies brutally fighting Micah. Either way, Arthur sacrifices himself so John can live. The Van der Linde gang officially collapses. 1907. The epilogue, still Red Dead Redemption 2. John Marston tries to live an honest life. He works on ranches. He struggles with violence. He tries to be a father to Jack. Eventually, he buys land at Beecher's Hope. But when he tracks down Micah in the mountains, Dutch appears. In a powerful final moment, Dutch shoots Micah, then silently walks away. The Blackwater money is recovered, but the past isn't done with John. 1911. Red Dead Redemption. Red Dead Redemption. Now we jump to 1911. The government kidnaps Abigail and Jack. They force John to hunt down his former gang members. First, Bill Williamson. Then, Javier Escuella. Finally, Dutch Van der Linde. Dutch has completely lost himself. When cornered, he says, "Our time has passed, John." Dutch chooses suicide over capture. John is allowed to return home. For a moment, peace. 1914. The final betrayal. 3 years later, government agents return. They attack Beecher's Hope. John sacrifices himself so his family can escape. He dies in a barn, gunned down. Years later, Jack Marston grows up. He tracks down Agent Edgar Ross. Jack kills him, avenging his father. But in doing so, he becomes exactly what John tried to prevent. And that's the final tragedy. The West is gone. Outlaws are extinct. The age of freedom is over.